Good morning. Today is Wednesday, July the 6th, and as you know, today is going to be a pretty special day for many different reasons, as you'll find out. So first of all, today is my first day of chemotherapy, and this is my first time through something like this, as you know. And pretty much every step of the way, I've had to adapt to and learn something new. And today, I thought I'd kind of introduce you to some of the things that have been happening as we lead up to the chemo. And one of the more significant things happened yesterday, where we met with our oncologist, as well as being introduced to some of the medical staff. And we received my medications for the at-home part of the treatment. So in case you are not familiar with this disease and its treatment, I'm going to be receiving the chemotherapy regimen called Zelox, and I'm going to have to take my cheat notes out here. Zelox is actually a newer combination of intravenous, which is the more traditional way of receiving chemotherapy that used to happen in hospital, but now it has that part, a reduced version, and then a significant portion of at-home treatment through pills. So in many ways, it is more convenient and probably more comforting for the patient. For the system itself, it's cheaper because pills are better, much less expensive than having staff administer IVs. Zelox is a combination of two medicines, and I have to look at my cheat sheets. The first part is the capecitabine. That's the XEL because it also goes under a trade name called Xeloda. And the second part is oxaliplatin. So the capecitabine is the portion that is administered in pill form. That's the stuff that I take. And then the oxaliplatin is the IV part. Each cycle, among 4 cycles that I'm going to take, starts with IV. That's today. I'm going to get an IV, and then I take for 2 weeks straight at home. I take those pills, and then I have a week's worth of rest, and it starts over again. It happens 4 times. So by the time the end of September rolls around, I should be done, and then it's a matter of me taking some time to fully recover and let my body immunity build back up. And hopefully, by the end of the year, I'm done with this episode. So I thought it might be, quote, fun for you to kind of see what some of the parts are. And I noticed in a lot of YouTube videos, people kind of receiving fun things from what they've ordered online, things like cameras and electronics, and they would go through the process of opening up the box. Well, so I'm gonna go through that, and I don't have a box of fun stuff. This is my take-home kit for chemotherapy, and I want to show you what I'm receiving. So I got this nice package from a little pharmacy that's actually in the cancer center, in the Grand River Cancer Center. So there's one dedicated to this process where the staff are absolutely expert in the medication that goes into cancer therapy. So wonderful people, and there's a ton of stuff in here, and so let's take it out. There's papers. Oops, sorry. Little bottle of pills. Hopefully you can see those. 3 little bottles of pills. Some more. Looks like a receipt. Okay, that's the card of the pharmacy itself. My ongoing medical records and pharmaceutical records for this episode. And finally, a big box of what is clearly meds. Okay, so what is all of this? So let's start with some of these. These are really the instructions for all of these medications, and they're pretty lengthy because these are pretty heavy duty things, and a lot of caution needs to be taken care of. I've already had it explained to me 2 or 3 times from different perspectives, by the doctor, by the pharmacist, by the nurse. There's a lot of steps, so something that you need to be aware of, I need to be aware of. Of course, keeping good medical records is terribly important. Yeah, and developing relationships. And this is something that, you know, a lot of us, we go and see doctors and things, and you know, don't really develop a relationship. They're there to help you out every once in a while, but really for something like this, you are developing a relationship. So people's names and getting to know them and them knowing you is pretty important. Okay, let's go to the real stuff. I'm gonna start with, actually, let's start with these. Just 3 bottles of pills. These are not chemo pills. These are the pills to help me with the symptoms, and typically things like nausea. They have names that are impossible to pronounce, so I'm just going to read them literally. This is called metochlopramide, okay? And this is called ondansetron. That's this one. And finally, this is called dexamethasone. That's this one. This one I do remember because the pharmacist made the point of saying the pills are pentagonal, 5-sided, and this is the first time I've ever seen pentagonal pills. Very cute. There was a incredibly complex algorithm that she explained, the pharmacist explained to me about when to take these. So these, you know, a couple of these are mandatory. They will help suppress the nausea, but another one of these is in case it does not get better, you have an option to take something else. And it also, you know, within this combination, there's issues dealing with diarrhea and some of the other potential symptoms. There's also some additional drugs that I will get for this initial round, and that will be for dealing with the startup. So principally they'll be steroid based. I don't know the names and all of that, but I understand that will be for this week. I'm going to get the instructions all over again today because there's a bunch of steps. Now, the big box. So the brand name is Xeloda. So that's where the Z in the Z-locks, or the Z in the Z-locks comes from. And again, it's intended to be, this is the capecitabine portion of the treatment, and a bunch of pills in there. The dosage is, my understanding is dosage is pretty high, 2,000 milligrams twice daily. This is chemo in a box, and you know, it's, to me, this is not something morbid or depressing. You know, I looked at this and this is actually quite a miracle that we're in this stage. This was a disease that not too long ago, not only did it kill a lot of people very often, but the treatment was so much worse than what it is right now. And one of the significant steps forward will be the convenience of treatment. And in terms of the dosages and the duration and all of that, the medical research teams and the clinicians have been doing an awful lot of work in refining that so that our lives are not turned upside down too much or more than it needs to be. So this is an amazing thing. Hopefully it will help me deal with the next steps. The final thing I want to talk to you about was the receipts. So my understanding is the market price of all of these is in the thousands of dollars per month, and if you are part of certain families, that could kill you, unless you had some level of support, unless there was some program. I'm pretty lucky. The country that I live in, the province that I live in, does cover pretty much everything to do with cancer. Really no questions asked. Now, we're in a bit of a hybrid transitional state right now. We're in Ontario. These pill forms are currently not on the books, meaning for me, I had to get my employer's supplementary drug plan to cover this portion. Having said that, right now, during the transition to making everything inclusive, The government has alternate programs that kick in for people in financial need. A little more paperwork, but the cancer centers all have staff to help you out. To me, that's another miracle through all of this. This receipt is $16.47, and that's Canadian dollars, which is far less than the usual dollars that many people might think of. $16.47, and that's all this entire treatment is going to cost me. And by the end of it, I will walk out healthy and clear of this disease. So I can't think of any other word than miracle for something like that. And the $16.47 is actually a mistake, because my wife Sharon also has a drug plan at her work, which would have topped it up, but she made a mistake in filling out the forms and put my birthday incorrectly in the field, which caused the disconnect and yada, yada, yada. So we're happy to offer $16.47 into the pot to help the process go along. But the next ones will be completely free. Okay, I just mentioned Sharon. So today's a special day for sure because of what we've just been talking about, but today's also our 31st anniversary. On July 6, 1991, I married the most wonderful person I could ever imagine meeting, and it happened in this city. Last year, for our 30th, that we had planned to be a big celebration of so many good things, we got hit by the pandemic. So we just spent a quiet day with our children. And this year, we're dealing with this. So I just want to say that I'm so thankful that you vowed to stay with me for better and for worse. This one's pretty bad, but we've been through other ones. So as worse as this seems, it's gonna get better. And once again, I'm so thankful that we're going through this together with our kids. And I look forward to not just this episode being over, but having many more great positive episodes and journeys with you. And even if once again we get hit by something nasty, I know we'll get through it. I love you very much. Happy anniversary. So that was the toughest part of this whole ordeal, as you can see. So in a couple of hours we'll be taking off. I don't know where this video series is going. I'm going to try my best to record a few things that might be of interest to you. And I also really don't fully understand all of the nuances and mechanisms of the YouTube world. I hear everybody say, please subscribe or like or share or whatever. Yes, if this has some value to you, certainly even just sending me a comment, that certainly helps me. So with that, wish me luck, and I will see you during my chemo treatment. Have a wonderful day.